April 30th, 1945, Berlin is in flames. The Red Army closes in on the heart of the Nazi Empire. Deep underground, Adolf Hitler, the man responsible for the deadliest war in human history, supposedly ends his life. But what if that's not how the story really ended? For decades, rumors, declassified files, and shocking discoveries have fueled a chilling question. Did Hitler escape? Could the most wanted man in history have vanished into the shadows, living out his days in secret while the world believed him dead? This is the mystery that refuses to die. On April 30th, 1945, Soviet forces closed in on Berlin. Adolf Hitler allegedly took his own life inside the bunker. Eyewitnesses claimed he shot himself while biting a cyanide capsule. His longtime companion, Eva Braun, reportedly poisoned herself at the same time. Their bodies were said to have been burned in the Reich Chancellery Garden to prevent public display. The Soviets later claimed to have found the remains. This became the accepted historical narrative, yet it left room for doubt because of limited photographic proof and contradictory reports from those who were supposedly present in Hitler's final moments. Soviet secrecy and conflicting reports after Berlin's fall, the Soviet Union kept details of Hitler's death shrouded in mystery. Joseph Stalin even hinted to Western leaders that Hitler might have escaped. Early Soviet statements contradicted one another, sometimes claiming Hitler had been poisoned, other times shot, or that his body had been found intact. This secrecy fueled rumors worldwide. Some believe the Soviets deliberately spread confusion for political leverage during the early Cold War, with the body hidden from public view and the Kremlin controlling all information. Conspiracy theories about Hitler's fate flourished, and many wondered if the truth had been intentionally obscured. The missing skull mystery. For decades, the Soviets claimed to possess Hitler's skull, displaying it in Moscow. In 2009, researchers tested a skull fragment believed to be his. Shockingly, DNA analysis revealed it belonged to a woman under 40, not Hitler. This revelation reignited doubts about the official story. If the Soviets didn't actually have Hitler's skull, what did they have? And where were his real remains? While some historians argue that Hitler's jawbone, also in Russian possession, is authentic, the skull discovery cast a shadow over previous Soviet claims, providing fresh ammunition for those who believe Hitler may have escaped after the war. Eyewitness confusion accounts from Hitler's final hours vary significantly. Some witnesses said he shot himself in the head, others claimed he swallowed cyanide. Some said his body was quickly burned, others suggested it was wrapped and removed. The chaos of Berlin's final days meant that memories could be unreliable. Yet these inconsistencies leave room for speculation. Witnesses like Otto Gunsch and Heinz Linge gave detailed accounts but sometimes contradicted each other. Conspiracy theorists argue that these contradictions point to a cover-up. Historians counter that such differences are normal in wartime, especially under intense stress, but the confusion remains a central mystery. The body double theory. Some theorists suggest that a double was killed in the bunker, while the real Hitler escaped through underground tunnels. Supporters of this theory point to alleged discrepancies in dental records, photographs, and descriptions of the corpse. Skeptics argue that the overwhelming presence of Soviet troops in Berlin made escape nearly impossible. Still, the body double idea remains popular among those who believe the Führer planned a dramatic disappearing act. Operation Paperclip and Nazi escape networks. After the war, many high-ranking Nazis escaped prosecution by fleeing Europe. Ratlin's secret escape routes, often involving sympathetic clergy or intelligence agencies, smuggled them to South America and the Middle East. Meanwhile, the US secretly brought German scientists to America under Operation Paperclip, showing that even enemies could be spared for strategic gain. If such networks could save notorious figures like Adolf Eichmann and Joseph Mengele, could they have helped Hitler? Supporters of the escape theory argue that the same clandestine channels could have been used to smuggle the Nazi leader to safety far from Allied justice. CIA and FBI files. Declassified CIA and FBI documents reveal that Western intelligence agencies investigated hundreds of Hitler sightings after 1945. Reports came from Argentina, Colombia, and even New York. While none were conclusively verified, the fact that agencies took them seriously is telling. A 1945 FBI memo suggested that Hitler might be living in Argentina under an assumed name. The CIA also received leads well into the 1950s. Officially, these were dismissed as unproven. But conspiracy theorists see the very existence of such files as proof that authorities were not entirely certain of Hitler's fate in the immediate post-war years. South America sightings. Numerous alleged sightings placed Hitler in South America, particularly Argentina, Paraguay, and Brazil. One infamous claim came from a former SS officer who said he had personally seen Hitler on an Argentine estate in the 1950s. In Brazil, a photograph surfaced of an elderly man nicknamed the Old German, claimed by some to be Hitler living under a false identity. While historians have debunked most of these stories, the fact that so many Nazi fugitives lived comfortably in the region adds intrigue. Argentina's history of harboring war criminals makes such claims harder to dismiss outright for believers. The U-boat connection in 1945, several German U-boats were intercepted or surrendered near South America long after Germany's official surrender. Conspiracy theories suggest these submarines were transporting Nazi leaders, treasure, or secret documents to safe havens. Some theorists claim Hitler himself was aboard one of these vessels, destined for Argentina. While there's no solid proof linking Hitler to these U-boats, their mysterious late-war voyages raise questions. Historians attribute the missions to late communications or independent commanders refusing to surrender. But escape believers see them as part of an organized plan to relocate high-ranking Nazis, potentially including the Führer himself. Nazi bases in Antarctica myth. One of the most bizarre theories claims that Hitler fled to a secret Nazi base in Antarctica. While there's no evidence to support the existence of a Nazi Antarctic fortress, the sheer remoteness of the continent fuels the imagination of conspiracy theorists, who argue that it would be the perfect hiding place. Facial recognition and photo controversies. While most results are inconclusive or show mismatches, a few have produced eerie similarities. Critics argue that resemblance alone is not proof, as many older men could share Hitler's facial features. Additionally, grainy black and white images from decades ago make precise identification difficult. Still, for those already inclined to believe he escaped, such photographs serve as tantalizing hints that the world's most infamous dictator may have lived on in secrecy. Skeptics counter arguments. Historians dismiss most escape theories, citing solid evidence like Hitler's dental records. Confirmed by his personal dentist's assistant, the Soviets reportedly recovered these remains and verified them. Additionally, Berlin in April 1945 was surrounded by Soviet forces, making any escape nearly impossible. Skeptics argue that Hitler was too physically unwell to endure a long flight or submarine journey. They also point out that no credible witness ever emerged with undeniable proof of seeing him alive after 1945. For most scholars, the simplest explanation remains the most likely. Hitler died in the bunker, and the war ended there. Why the theories persist? The persistence of Hitler escape theories can be attributed to several factors: distrust of official narratives, his fascination with unsolved mysteries, and the secrecy surrounding Soviet records. The Cold War climate encouraged suspicion, and the idea of a powerful dictator escaping justice is compelling to storytellers and conspiracy enthusiasts. Humans are drawn to what-if scenarios, and Hitler's death provides fertile ground for speculation. The mystery has been kept alive by every new piece of disputed evidence, conflicting testimony, or sensational claim, ensuring that the debate remains alive even 80 years after the events of 1945. Pop culture-influenced films, books, and documentaries have played a major role in keeping the Hitler escape myth alive. From novels imagining him in hiding to TV specials re-examining the evidence, entertainment has blurred the line between fact and fiction. Series like Hunting Hitler use dramatic reenactments and speculative research to suggest escape scenarios. Such portrayals, while not academically rigorous, reach millions and plant seeds of doubt. Over time, pop culture has transformed Hitler's death from a closed historical case into an enduring mystery, ensuring the public's imagination continues to entertain the possibility that history's most infamous man survived. Final verdict? While the official account of Hitler's suicide remains the most widely accepted, gaps in evidence and decades of secrecy have allowed alternative theories to thrive. Skeptics of the official story point to missing remains, conflicting reports, and the documented escapes of other Nazis. Historians counter that these theories rely on speculation rather than hard proof. In the end, the question, was Hitler really dead in 1945, remains a matter of belief. The truth may be buried with the last witnesses, but the mystery ensures that Adolf Hitler's final fate will continue to provoke debate for generations.